All right, I got to give this a try. I don't know how well this is going to go over, but I've got a lot of things I would like to say to some friends of mine. And rather than type it all out, I figured I'd make just a quick video. I'm not good at this stuff, so bear with me. You think you're living in America right now? Do you think you're living in the United States of America? Do you see the justice system being fair? I mean, I'm not talking about just Trump. I'm talking about everything. Has anybody that is from what I'm going to classify as the deep state, has any of them been in front of a judge? Have they been investigated? We hear about these ongoing investigations, but they never go anywhere. Hunter Biden, Hillary. Hillary deleted 33,000 emails. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Hillary smashed cell phones. BleachBit. Never heard of BleachBit till Hillary. But this justice system is that of a communist country already. What if, and now this is just crazy Cajun conspiracy, okay? So just take it with a grain of salt. You can turn it off if you want to turn it off. Go on about your business. What if the deep state has already overthrown this country? What if the deep state already controls the United States? What used to be the United States, let's call it the deep states. Because in my eyes, this isn't the United States anymore. You don't have the First Amendment, right? They cut off your freedom of speech. You say something wrong, I don't even know how long this is going to last, but if you say something, you print something, everything is one-sided. Everything is driven by a group of individuals that I believe run the Federal Reserve, the elites, okay? And they are trying to take over everything, starting with this country. Actually started, I think, with some other countries. We'll get into that later. What's been driving me crazy just the last couple of days, let me rephrase. Not driving me crazy, I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. I don't feel suicided. I don't feel crazy. I'm not going to rise up, okay? So I'm just sharing some ideas. It certainly seems like we've already lost our country. Now let me ask you some things. And I'm just going to share with you what led me to these thoughts. How did the world treat Donald Trump when he won the presidency? When he went to China, how was he treated? Rolled out the carpet. North Korea, only one to cross the line. Trump walked on grounds that have never been walked on by an American citizen in China. India, they had this big, remember the big auditorium, the big soccer field? Thousands and thousands of people greeted Trump. They were dancing. The president was so excited. They were so excited to see him. Saudi Arabia put on the big performance for he and Melania. I mean, put out the performance. What did they do for Joe? What's up, Joe? Russia, Putin got along with him. I mean, it just seems like the world respected or was actually very excited to see Trump. Almost like joyful in a way that they felt saved. Not in a spiritual way, in a worldly way, in an economic way. And then we saw Putin and Xi the other day on television. This really got to me. They shaking hands and they make this little comment about how the world's going to change after 100 years. 100 years of what? All right, here's my deal. I think it's quite possible the deep state has already overthrown the United States. I think they own this country. And all you have to do is look at how the justice system, they rounded up how many people from January 6th? Just that fast. Still hadn't seen Hunter one day in front of a judge, in front of no indictments, no nothing. Under investigation. Hillary's under investigation. Everybody's under investigation. But nobody sees a judge. Nobody sees the inside of a cell. Nothing. then they go after, and this was it. I guess maybe the whole arrest of Donald Trump has just taken me to that point where, what in the world is going on? This is not the United States. Our dollar is crashing, and they are printing money like it's monopoly money. And the rest of these countries, Russia, China, India, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, they're all dumping the US dollar. Now, for a long time, I thought China and Joe were in bed together. But I think China might have something on Joe. They control Joe. But I'm not sure China wants to take over the United States. I don't think Russia wants to take over the United States. Who are our Democratic Party or Deep State Party, whatever you want to call them? Who are they backing? Ukraine. We're sending tons of cash to Ukraine where our own people, our dollar's crashing, our people are starving. Food is being trampled on. We're running out of food. And we're supporting the most corrupt government on the planet. Look it up. Ukraine has been so corrupt, and they're being led by some high heel wearing comedian, cross-dressing comedian who's an actor playing the role as the Ukrainian president. I think we already lost our country. Now, coming across the southern border, we got millions coming across the southern border. We have a whole bunch of, and this is so sad to say, but we've got a whole bunch of unescorted minors crossing the border. What is that for? What's that all about? Well, now it's being revealed that these children are being used for sex. They're things that I don't want to talk about right now, and I don't think a lot of people are ready to hear. But it's evil. Very evil things are happening to these poor children that are coming across, and their parents aren't sending them here for a better life. They're selling them. It's. Would you leave your children? Would you send your children across an entire country without you going? Put them in the hands of cartel members? No. So the border's open for the children, but who else is crossing? Chinese nationals, Russian citizens are crossing the border, Pakistani, Iranian. We got people from 107, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but over 100 countries crossing our southern border. And one tennis player who's in the best shape of anybody probably in this country is not allowed to come in and play tennis. No, he can't come because he's not vaccinated. But they're taking all these millions of people crossing the southern border, shipping them all over the place. Who are these people crossing the border? These Chinese nationals, these Russians. Now, this is where I'm going to throw something at you that I'm kind of wigging, okay? Are they here to help save our country? Now, this is when we're getting into parts where I know there were people with QAnons and where they talked about, there's the white hats and the black hats. And the reception they gave Trump, I'll never forget. It was almost like the face Putin and Xi had when they shook hands and talked about how the world is finally going to be straightened up after 100 years. What if we are the bad guys? Not we, not individuals. I'm not talking about all American citizens. And please, we got to get off this Democrat and Republican thing. You got to get away from the Democrat-Republican thing. That's why they want us screaming blue and red, blue and red. They want us divided. They want the whole sexual orientation. We got to get away from this if we're going to save this country. Joe has sold off the oil reserves to China. They're weakening our military. They've forced the jab on so many of our military personnel that many of them have checked out. We know our military is much weaker. We need some help. I'm sorry, but we're not going to do this on our own, let alone talking about Taiwan. We're going to take on China and Russia. I hate to tell you this, gang. We take on China and Russia, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. We ain't built for that right now. We are in no way economically strong enough. We don't have the oil in the reserve, the emergency oil reserve. We are not ready for a world war. Not by any means. Dumping tons and tons of cash into Ukraine, and Russia's kicking their ass. I'm telling, and you know it. But they told you 3 weeks into this, Russia was running out of ammunition. Russia's economy is being destroyed. That ain't, you know that ain't right. You know that's not true. So what's really going on? Has our country already been overthrown? Was Russia and China so excited to see Trump because Trump is not part of the deep state? Did he ensure them that the country's not? So how did he win the election? All right, first, do you think Joe Biden got 81 million votes? Or seriously, 81 million votes. 81 million. All right, break it down. The party, the Democrat Party, let's call it that, the Democrat Party, and again, I'm not trying to separate, I'm just giving information. The Democrat Party that supposedly voted Joe Biden in with 81 million votes. This is a party that has verbally expressed they hate old white people, especially old white racists, right? Understandable. All right. How did an old white racist get 81 million Democrats to come out of their house and vote, or to mail in and vote? How did an old white racist who couldn't get 81 people at a rally get 81 million? Do you understand the magnitude of 81 million? Now maybe you could convince me of that. If Trump went down, if Trump had lost all kinds of votes and Trump was down at the 30 million, 20 million, because we've never had that big of a turnout on both sides. Trump broke the record. You telling me 2 presidents broke the record in the same election cycle, the same election year, both presidents broke the all-time record. Now you got all of this evidence that has been trying to come out with Mike Lindell, with the Dominion machines and the voting swaps and the mail-in ballots with Dinesh D'Souza. He comes out and shows you how all of this was happening, and nobody wants to look at it. Now again, going back to that justice system, does this seem like the United States of America? Does this seem like the free country with equal justice under the law? And y'all know it's not. You know we're not having equal justice under the law. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what you believe as far as political goes. Do you not see that this is a one-sided, completely controlled government? And the Republicans are just as dirty. Now, look, McCarthy's a filthy. They're all filthy. Most of them. Now, I'll give a handful. I'll give you a handful that are in there trying to get something rolling. But the reason nothing ever gets done, they're all filthy. They're all in on the deal. They're all in on these parties. They're all in on the money. They're all in with the deep state. They have been slowly taken over. Hollywood's with them. You know that. You can see all of the propaganda being used through television, through the media. The media, of course, the media's owned. I mean, my goodness, if you can't see it by now, people, we're in trouble. So if we know all of this, how did Joe win the election? How did, and if China and Russia and Trump are all in this together to save the United States, then how is it they let Joe Biden win the election? How is it we allowed this 81 million to go with unanswered? The minute it was questioned, first off, what happens? People go to jail. January 6th. You can't see the videotape. Why? Security reasons. What are you talking about? What do you mean you can't see the videotape because they'll know where our cameras are? People, you got to start thinking. You got to use your brain. You got to start analyzing things. You got to realize that you're being fed so much bullshit. How do you believe it? How does anybody believe Joe got 81 million? January 6th was an insurrection. Let me tell you something. If 2 million Republicans got that angry, we're the gun toters, right? We're the gun tote. There were 2 million people out there. If they wanted to have an insurrection, they would have had an insurrection. That White House would have been, that Capitol rather, would have been cleared out. Trust me. It would have been cleared out. You had handful FBI. I don't know about the CIA involved, but they had enough of their people that were in the front lines. Look at Ray Epps. How many times he shows up on the screen? Every front line in front at one angle. He's over there. He's over here working the front lines, going through the barricades. Then next thing you see, he's all the way on the other side of the Capitol in the front lines giving grief to the Capitol Police the night before, saying, we got to go into the Capitol. We got to go into the Capitol. I'll break it down simple for you. The man wears a MAGA hat, and he's screaming about entering the Capitol. Now, these people have gone, the FBI has crossed the country arresting thousands of people that step foot on the grounds. Not Ray Epps. Why? Why aren't they using the video cameras and using facial recognition to identify who were the real violent people? I'm talking about the people who were breaking the windows in the Capitol. Those were not conservatives. Those were plants. Those were people that were sent there to do exactly that. And I knew it was coming before it happened. That's why I didn't go. I had a free invite to go. I had people that wanted to pay my way to go to the insurrection because they knew what kind of Trump supporter I was. I'm a United States supporter, and we are being overrun. We are being overthrown. So yes, what I heard Donald Trump say, I supported 100%. But I knew there were going to be people laid into that group. And they even pointed him out. Ray Epps, Fed, remember? Fed. The man's never seen the inside of a courtroom. Hillary's never seen the inside of a courtroom. The list is so long. How do you not see it? How do people not see what's going on? This ain't about red and blue. This is about the deep state. This is about a group of elites that are small in number, but their money is powerful. We're the ones making the machine run. We're the ones that are supporting them. We're the ones that are giving them their money, hence their power. They make all of our products. I mean, we've already been overthrown. But I do believe there's a group of individuals out there that are working with China and Russia and Saudi Arabia to help us take our country back. Because they don't want this globalism either. Putin does not want a one world order. Not unless he running it. And he know that ain't going to happen. She don't want a new world order, a one world government, unless he running it. No, I think the people that want the new world order, I think the people that want full control, who's pushing the AI? Because in order for that to happen, in order for a small group to have that much power, they're going to have some serious influence other than manpower, right? Artificial intelligence. What are we being told right now? Artificial intelligence could take over humanity. And who's pushing it? Gates. Same guy who just sold all of his stock in the... Yeah? Right? Made all kinds of money on it. On the patent, right? Come on now. Who's buying up all the farmland? Just as the food shortages are happening. Oh, we got chickens getting burned up over here. Turkeys getting burned up over here. Oh, this food plant got destroyed. This food can't... And what we doing? Oh, everybody did. Oh, well, you know, ain't gonna eat chicken. Let's have potato. We can't have Easter eggs. Let's do potatoes. I'm sorry. You gotta laugh because it's the only thing you can do to keep from crying. Come on, man. Wake up! Jeez and Pete. I mean, Gates goes into the software company. Boom! Oh, and by the way, I remember way back in the day when he got the software, Microsoft, right? He got Microsoft. That man can't even make a program. That man can't write a program. He took that $900,000, bought that poor man who actually did Microsoft, squeezed him out $900,000. That man made $900,000. How much is it worth? Then, remember all the viruses? Computer viruses. I was like, wait a minute. They told us, what did they tell us back in those days? Oh, there were kids that were getting on computers, little hackers, and they were playing around making viruses. How come they didn't shut down their own computers doing that? I mean, wait. And then all of a sudden, miraculously, there's an antivirus program. A computer vaccine, if you will. That you got to buy every year. Come on, man. You got to buy your computer a vaccine every year to keep it clean from the viruses. Same people that made the program made the virus. They're the same people made the antivirus. Money, 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 money. There's a sucker born every day. All right, so he goes. Let's move on. So for Microsoft, what's he doing? Oh, now he's a scientist. My boy making medicine now. Oh yeah. Then all of a sudden we got pandemics. All of a sudden we got all these viruses popping out. How many vaccines you see commercials for on TV? Come on, how many? I think Cindy and I were watching TV the other night, or it might have been the Super Bowl, one of the big event, and we counted. There were 9 different commercials for 9 different vaccines. You got the shingles, you know what I'm talking. All these vaccines for everything. Just as the man gets into the pharmaceutical world, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Look, you want to know where to invest your money? Follow that boy right there. What he buying now? Farmland. Farmland. So he buys farmland, and what happened? Food shortages. Baby formula shortages. A sucker born every day. There's a sucker born every day. That man reaching in your pocket and getting your money. And what we doing? We just feeding the beast. All we do, we go to work every day, we make our money. As long as we can party, have a good time, and not pay attention to this bullshit, not get too stressed out. I don't want to get too stressed out. Oh, that stresses me out. That's exactly what they want you doing. A government of the people, for the people, by the people, and the people ain't paying attention. Try to run a business like that. Tell me how that works out. Ask some local business people what happens when you don't pay attention to the people that are running your money. People that are controlling your stuff. No accountability? I have personal stories to say about that. We'll get into that another day. So now the man buying up farmland. And now he's getting into AI. Now look, I don't care. Up to this point, you can think I'm full of shit. I'm going to tell you something right now. Gates gets AI rolling. They ain't going to need us. They ain't going to need a lot of us. And I know y'all think I'm big. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy with this whole depopulation thing. But let me ask you something. What happened to them Georgia Guidestones? We start talking about the Georgia Guidestones. It starts picking up ground, and we start reading the 10 laws on the stones. Like, where have you heard 10 rules on stones before? 10 commandments? All right, so here we go. You got the 10 rules on the Georgia Guidestones. What's the first one? Decrease population to 500 million. That's a lot of people gone. Not a lot of people left, a lot of people gone. We're what, 8 billion people? So 7.5 billion got to go? Wouldn't need a lot of resources to feed 500 million globally. Seemed like that would be actually kind of a utopia. Can you imagine AI handling all your business for you? Some servants and all the elites. Watch the earth replenish itself to serve them. 500 million. I'm gonna tell you what. Kind of a genius plan. in an evil ass kind of way. Now that's evil. That's evil. That's some evil shit. You willing to drop 7.5 billion people? We talk about women, children, families, everything. I'm talking about you. What, you think you in that 500 number? Do you? Okay. Let me know how that work out for you. Now, that's why there's no way Russia is in on this. Russia ain't going to play that game. China's not going to play that game. China got 1 billion people right there. We talk about taking the world population down to 500 million. And what happened when all of that started to get attention? All that starts rolling. What happens? Somebody blew up the stones. Somebody blew up the damn Georgia Guidestones. Now, come on, man. And wait, you want to know how you could tell if it was deep state or somebody that was just upset about it? Like a Christian that thought this was an anti-Christian, so they went and blew up the rocks? I'll ask you one simple question. Did anybody go to jail? Did anybody go to jail? No. That's how you know it was deep state. Deep state don't go to jail. Deep state will send your ass to jail, but deep state ain't going to jail. Hillary, where my emails at? Hunter. That's not Hunter Computer. Oh, well, it's Hunter Computer, but now we're going to sue you for releasing it. Man, look, I can understand the frustration behind trying to keep up with all this because, man, this is like a chess game. Ooh, it's a chess game like I've never seen. It's magnificent. Look, and I know that sounds terrible, but I mean that in a manner that these are not stupid people. This is not happening from stupid people. This is actually kind of genius. You can call it evil genius and good genius. But there's a chess game going on, gang. There's a chess game going on. And you a piece. You are a piece on that chessboard. And we're getting close to the end of the game. Now, if I'm right, if China and Russia and Saudi Arabia are all with Trump and the White Hats, or call them what you want, if there's a group of people that still believe in the United States that do not want this deep state to take over, if there is, we got a chance. There's a chance. But going back to the chess game, we get close to checkmate. In fact, maybe checkmate is already inevitable. You know how you get to a point where you know you've been had, you know the guy got you, your competitors got you, or you got him. You know there's only so many moves left. There's only so many moves left. But checkmate is inevitable. As long as the man that's on top don't make a mistake. And if he sees he's got you in checkmate, he's not going to make no mistake. Checkmate is inevitable. Then what is the loser's choice? What are the loser's choices? The loser can choose to either give up his king, end the game, forfeit, knock him over, right? Or sacrifice every piece he's got, make you take him down to the last move. And let me tell you something, these deep state evil individuals, they ain't gonna give up. They see it coming. They see it coming. They know it's coming. They know they're losing. That's why things are getting crazy. That's why things are getting wild. That's why things are getting crazy. They know they're going down. They know they're going down. China's got stuff on Joe. They can control Joe, but they're not with the deep state. What if they holding our oil for us? The oil reserves. Currency dropping. Well, how are you going to get rid of the Federal Reserve? How are you going to get rid of these people that basically, that's their lifeline? The money is their lifeline. How are you going to get rid of it? You got to bring down the Federal Reserve. You got to bring down the dollar. You got to. That's their meat. That's their bread and butter. That's their power. They got it. And we're all we doing is feeding it. We go to work every day, pay our taxes. And they squandering it like it's like a kid with a credit card. Here, baby, take the credit card. Lose your mind. You ain't ever got to pay it. You don't ever have to pay it back. They give themselves raises every year no matter what's going on. Look, you don't think it's weird? You got AOC in the government. Come on, man. But I'm saying this because obviously to write all of this, and then I know I'm terrible at writing. I'm sorry if I've ever upset anybody. I'm terrible at writing. When I write, I know sometimes it's taken wrong. It's taken as anger. So I had to get on here and say this because I just felt like there was so much I needed to say. And this is wild, man. This theory, this conspiracy that I have. And right now, that's all it is. It's an idea. I watch, and I watch. And I see these puzzle pieces, and I sling them suckers up on the wall, and I watch. And then this one fits into here. And all of a sudden, you start to see this picture, and you realize the deep state, they only have one playbook. And there's only so many plays. School shootings, when they want to scream about guns. You got the MK Ultra. You don't believe the MK Ultra? Go look it up, man. It's been around since the 50s. They tried to shut it down in the 70s. The CIA, you think they're going to shut all that down? And now you got video games. These kids, if you read on the MK Ultra program, as far as these school shootings and all this, you wonder how these people can do this. Back in the day with the MK Ultra, they used to kidnap people, bring them in, and make them look at these screens with all this crazy, I mean horrible things to desensitize. They hit them up with drugs, psychotic drugs, but mind control, where it's easy to control their minds. Then subliminal messaging, even maybe hypnosis, yeah? And they give them these keywords, these phrases, where they activation phrase, where they would call them on the phone and great googly boogly, and you hear this, and all of a sudden, whoa, got to take some people out. Got to complete whatever mission it is. And I know you might think that's crazy. Look into it. Do a little research on your own. Don't take my word for nothing. Check all this. But do some digging. If you don't, all you're doing is hearing the media, and especially if you're not even digging into what the media is telling you. If all you're doing is reading the headlines, you're not even going down to the bottom of the article, because the truth is going to be at the bottom. If there's ever a correction or anything, there's no corrections. You know that. Do some looking into this MK Ultra. And these children, what are they doing? They go see psychiatrists. Well, you don't think the deep state can buy their own therapists? I would, if that was my plan. How easy would it be to get therapists across the country? Pay them. Soros got... If you don't know Soros, you probably checked out of this video a long time ago. If he's got therapists across the country, all he needs is a therapist who's got the perfect child, the perfect teenager. Look at all the MOs on these shooters, man. They share so much. And all-day gamers, they're on that video game all day long. They got the headsets on, right? Now, the doctors are giving them medications. And now you're messing with the hormones. Oh, my God. You don't think hormones are powerful? Anybody on hormone replacement therapy, all right? You get up in our older age. Now, I'm not on the hormone therapy replacement, but I imagine one day I will be. But as you get older, your hormones drop, okay? And you notice things, okay? You'll get weaker and things like that. And you understand hormones are very powerful in mood, in strength, and they play such a huge role. So you got hormones. Then you got that psychotic, you got the drugs, you got where you can alter their thoughts, you can control their emotions, you can make them feel isolated. Just listen to the side effects of some of these medications. Just listen to the side effects, okay? Now you got a child who's vulnerable that comes in, a teenager that comes in that doesn't have a lot of friends. They're all day online with the headset on, watching video games that are in 3D that are so realistic. Blood splatters on the wall, cutting throats. Come on, man. They can desensitize. This is MK Ultra on steroids. And they can pick and choose their subjects. A therapist on the payroll, gives a name to an operative. Operative takes the name, goes online, befriends the child. Befriends the child. And look, Hollywood even back you up on this. Check it out. That program Evil on TV. You ever seen it? Where the evil little therapist gets online, is talking with the little girls, the daughters. Check out that program. Look, Hollywood's always getting ahead of the game. They got to make things normal for you. They work with the deep state. Their job is to make you accept things as they come, right? We might see UFOs real soon. What they working on right now? What they working on right now? Transgender. Transgender. How hard they pushing that? Transgender. How hard are they pushing the transgender right now? They got Bud Light to do it. Bud Light. What you got? They sympathized with a shooter. First time I've ever seen that. Where they actually made the shooter a victim. Now they pushed on the guns a little bit, but now they're sympathizing with the transgender community. They're normalizing. Now why do you think they're doing that? Here go another one. If you ain't turned off yet, you might now. But here we go. Here go another one. Transgender. They pushing this transgender thing hard. Why they pushing the transgender so hard? Narrative. Agenda. TV they always set it up. Like I told you, they only got so many plays in their game book. They only got so many plays. So now they running the transgender hard. They even got Budweiser, like I said. Then Jean-Pierre gets on and says, the transgender community is under attack. This is after a shooting. This is after 8-year-olds were killed, shot and killed. And 9-year-olds. And they sympathizing with the shooter. Now, they're not going to tell us anything about the shooter, but they sympathizing with the entire community now. They sympathizing with the community, the transgender community. And then I remembered Joan Rivers. Remember Joan? Get on YouTube and pull up Joan Rivers. Wait, let me set it up. Democrats are looking for a new candidate, right? Now, isn't that funny? I'm going to come back to Joan. And the transgender. But right now, they're looking for a new president, right? Come on, Democrats are not pleased with Joe. Joe's numbers are tanking, right? Even though he got 81 million votes. He got 81 million votes. He lost the least number of seats at the midterms of any president, which is supposedly a reflection of the job that the president's doing, right? So he's lost the least number. Remember the big red wave that was supposed to happen? It never happened. Joe got 81 million votes when Trump got 75 million, all in the same time. So they kind of got to be easy about how they don't let Joe run back again, because his numbers are tanking. Joe is getting to the point where Joe can't control himself, man. He come down to talk about the shooters and he brings up ice cream and then points 4 children out of the audience, right? I got chocolate chip ice cream. I got a whole freezer upstairs. Hey, what them 4 children, what y'all doing? What them 4 beautiful children doing here? Stand up. Come on, man. Joe can't control himself anymore. You know what's wrong with Joe. You know Joe. Joe the hair sniffer, right? You know Joe. So they looking for another candidate. And they rolling out this sympathetic transgender carpet. They want all of us to feel terrible about the transgender community, that they're being persecuted, that they're being attacked, okay? Just because we're trying to pass some laws. They had 3 insurrections, right? Just this past weekend, they had 3 insurrections in different states. Florida was one. I think Texas was another. I forget the third. But there were 3 capitals that were raided, basically, or insurrected, okay, by a big group of paid protesters. Soros is back to work. You know we got another election coming. So they raided, and in the middle of these people trying to pass bills that are going to stop men from competing in women's sports, stop men from using little girls' bathrooms and things like that, right? So they were trying to pass all of this, and they're using that to say that they're under attack. Okay, the transgender community is under attack. So the whole premise is that the transgender community, they want us to sympathize. They want us to sympathize. Who's coming out? They don't have a Democrat candidate yet. Joe won't announce. Because Joe ain't running. Joe crazy, man. You know Joe ain't going back in there. I'm sorry. You know, it's going to be embarrassing to say, yeah, the guy who got 81 million votes, he ain't qualified to be president no more. The guy who got the least number of seats lost in the midterms, he no longer qualified. He no longer qualified to be president. Okay. I don't want to tell you right there. So, who's coming out? Somebody's coming out the closet. You know who? Big Mike. Or as Barry calls him, or Barack, whatever you want to call it. Barack, Barry. As Barack would say, my Mike, my Big Mike, my Mike. Joan Rivers. Remember I told you about Joe? Pull up YouTube. Joan Rivers says Michelle Obama. Oh, I don't know if that's going to get me in trouble. Joan Rivers says somebody is a transgender when they asked her, do you think we'll ever see a gay president? Well, we already have one in Obama. You know Michelle's a transgender, right? Poor Joan. That was her last interview, or one of her last interviews. Poor thing. That was terrible. But this is just a prediction. All right, y'all can call me crazy, but I got a feeling Big Mike's gonna come out the closet, and he gonna be tearing it down. My whole life has been a lie. We've had to live a lie because this country was not ready to accept transgenderism. They would not accept a transgender, and Barack would have never been president. He would have never been. We have never had our first black president, and la 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 la. She gonna go all sympathetic, but she gonna come out the closet and then she gonna run for president. Watch what I'm telling you. They laying it out, baby. Turn on the tube. They are even Budweiser got in on it. For what? You gonna tell me Budweiser is gonna make one can, one 6-pack, what you want to call it, 12-pack, what little homie jumped in the tub with. Yeah, because that's what this, jump in the tub with a 6-pack of beer. Okay. That was suicide. That was, that was economic suicide for the company. That was crazy, right? That was crazy. Why would they do it? Then the guy comes out, oh no, we're selling that to the public, please. We're not selling that to the public. You know they didn't even want to do that. They didn't even want to do that. But they had to because they in bed with the deep state. And once you've been bought, you got to do what you taught. You got to do what you asked. That's part of the game. You're on the team. And this is the chess. You a player on the chessboard. You a piece on the chessboard. Here, Mr. Budweiser, your move. They sacrificing Budweiser. We'll find out. I mean, it's coming, right? If I'm right, it's coming. If I'm wrong, well, you know, it won't be the first time, it won't be the last, but you know what I'm saying? But when they run a narrative this hard, they are dumping some cash on this transgender narrative. They are dumping some heavy cash. They don't do that for nothing. That is propaganda. They are setting you up for something coming down the road. Big Mike coming. I'm telling you. Watch what I'm telling you. Big Mike coming. Big Mike gonna come down. He gonna cry. He gonna throw it all out. He gonna throw it all out. And you think I'm crazy? You think Big Mike is? No, the bones don't lie. No, the bones don't lie. And I've been studying the human body for 35 years as a trainer. The bone structure don't lie. I'm sorry. And you. Oh, Big Mike. Watch what I'm telling you. Oh my goodness gracious. This is going to get wild, y'all. One thing for sure, this is going to get wild. But I got a feeling, because they brought up her name the other morning. Well, Joe, I don't think, and I watch all the medias. Look, if you're not watching them all, you're missing out on something. And if you want to know where they're going, you got to watch. And when you see it, it just all fits. Like I said, these are little puzzle pieces you just throwing on the wall, man. And next thing you know, you got yourself a mural. You got a picture. And when you got the picture, you see how they play. I'm telling you. I got a feeling Big Mike coming out. And I tell you what he's going to say. He's going to cry. He's going to tell about how he's had to live a lie his whole life because we wouldn't have a president. And then he's going to come back and and they're going to say, well, Michelle doesn't have it. This is what they said the other morning. Michelle doesn't have any experience. What experience does she bring to the table? What does she bring to the table? Her husband. Are you kidding me? Big Mike going to say, I stood by Barack. I stood by his side. His name Barry, by the way. Check it out. I stood by my husband's side for 8 years as the president. I'm sure he'll stand by my side and guide me. So that basically means you got Obama for another term, right? So to them constituents, oh, they're going to be all over this shit. You got to be kidding. They're going to jump all over this. This is probably the best shot they got. This will be the best shot they got at even giving it a run. Because if you think they're going to throw Joe back up there, look, fool me once, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Fool me twice, shame on me. You didn't fool me once. Joe ain't got no aim on there, you folks, man, come on. But watch, I got a feeling. Michelle Obama coming out. And then the deep state's gonna go down. Look, I'm gonna leave you with this. We win this game. We got them in checkmate. They've only got so many moves. We're gonna win this game. That's how I get up every morning. Because there's somebody watching out for us. You dig what I'm saying? The evil ain't gonna make it. I'm telling you. Watch what I'm telling you. But you might want to start paying attention. Things are gonna get crazy. Things are gonna get crazy. But we're gonna win this game. We got them in checkmate, and they know it. They know it's only a matter of a few moves, and they throw in everything. Look, Budweiser. Boop. All right, I've been on this thing too long. Check it out. Be cool.